and welcome to Your Vote Counts, a public informational, nonpartisan program designed to get the public acquainted with the candidates vying for the 2024 general election races of Kaiser City Mayor, Kaiser City Council, Marion County Sheriff, Senate District 9, House Districts 17 through 23, and Congressional Districts 5 and 6. These interviews come to you through the producers at Capital Community Media, with the collaboration on questions and moderators from the American Association of University Women and League of Women Voters, Marion and Polk counties. All candidates for these races were invited, and 65% chose to participate. Candidates did not receive the questions prepared by the League of Women Voters ahead of time. Candidates were invited to prepare a 2-minute opening addressing their background and qualifications for the office and 2-minute closing remarks. So let's get started. I am Mickey Varney from the League of Women Voters of Marion and Polk County, and I would like to introduce Stacy Rejaian, who is running for Marion County Sheriff. Candidate Rejaian, welcome, and we look forward to your opening remarks.
Thank you so much for having me.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I'm Stacy Rejaian, and I'm running for Marion County Sheriff. I was born and raised in Salem, Marion County. I've been a patrol deputy with the Marion County Sheriff's Office for 17 years. I've been with the Sheriff's Office for 19 years. This is the first time in 26 years that we've actually had the voters of Marion County have had a choice for who they want to be their sheriff. The way that it has gone for the last 26 years is the sheriff will usually resign towards the end of their term, and the county commissioners appoint someone to fill the vacancy, and then that person runs unopposed. And when the election comes around, nobody runs against them, and they run unopposed. And I think that's wrong. That's not the way that our system of government was meant to function. And that takes the choice away from the people. So I'm really excited that this is the first time in 26 years that the people of Marion County will have a choice for who they want to be their sheriff. When my opponent was appointed a year ago, I feel that now we are in a worse position than we were when he was appointed. Nothing is being done to address issues like our staffing crisis, drug trafficking in Marion County, gang violence, and crime prevention. So I'm running to be proactive on those issues and to do something to address those issues for public safety in Marion County.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that information. So now we'd like to hear your view on some questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, regarding our vulnerable populations, what is being done and what would you like to be done to address their care and support?
So their care and support for vulnerable populations do you have any more specific information for that, or just, I think one of them.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Your choice.
Okay. I guess one of our most, vulnerable populations in Marion County are people that are experiencing homelessness. A lot of those people that are experiencing homelessness, it's due to mental health issues and also drug addiction. We have the LEAD program in Marion County, and that is offering resources and opportunities for treatment to help address the root causes of their addiction and get them help to hopefully get them stabilized and into housing and healthy living and off the streets.
Is there anything additional you'd like to see done?
In addition to, I think treatment for addiction, which is very important, nothing is being done to address drug trafficking, drugs being sold in Marion County. And I think that that's equally important. It's important that we invest a lot of, resources into getting people help and treatment. But if we don't invest equal effort and resources into stopping the flow of drugs coming into the county, more people are going to continue getting addicted to drugs. And I feel like are just going to be spinning our wheels. So we need to help the people that are currently addicted, but also stop drugs from coming into our county so we don't continue to see people getting addicted to drugs. And that's something that's not being done now. The sheriff's office does not have a dedicated team to drug enforcement. And so that's something as sheriff that I would implement.
Okay, thank you very much. Marion County has diverse city size, demographics, rural and urban lands. So how do you plan to meet this variety of challenges?
So, I mean, one thing is being out in the communities and talking to the peoples in the various cities and rural and urban backgrounds. Also, making sure that we have adequate deputy staffing. Um, right now, a lot of our calls for service come from the more urban areas, but it's important that people in all areas of the county have patrol coverage and see deputies in their area. And the sheriff's office has experienced a staffing crisis, and that's due to people leaving the sheriff's office in vacant positions. So one of my top priorities as sheriff, it will be to make sure that we fill all of our vacant positions, and that once we have those positions filled, that we retain those employees, because it's not a good use of taxpayer money to hire people to have them leave the sheriff's office after a couple of years to go to another agency. And by doing that, we will be able to provide, I believe, a better level of service to all residents of Marion County, those who live in the urban areas, but also in the more rural areas, so we can be out in those present in those communities as well.
Okay, thanks. Next question, what is your plan for enforcement of Oregon's laws regarding gun safety and ownership?
So the sheriff's office, when we investigate incidents that involving firearms, we will, you know, see the circumstances, and if a crime has been committed, go from there. I also support the Second Amendment. I believe it's very important that we protect the people's right to defend themselves and their family. And that's something as sheriff that I will always stand up for the rights of the people, because a lot of the people that are committing crimes with guns are not law abiding citizens. And I don't think that it's fair that we lump the people that are committing crimes with guns into the same category as law abiding citizens who exercise their rights to keep and bear arms. So we will enforce the law, but also at the same time defend the rights of those under the Second Amendment.
Okay, thank you. Well, you've already touched on this a bit, but the question is, do we have enough law enforcement personnel, and what future training is needed to keep quality officers?
So yeah, we kind of mentioned that over the last few years, we've had a problem with retaining employees at the sheriff's office. It's an issue that a lot of law enforcement agencies are facing, but um, the sheriff's ability to recruit and retain law enforcement professionals is a critical public safety issue, because right now our staffing levels are so low, it's affecting the sheriff's office ability to provide the services that the public expects from us. And part of doing that is providing good training and professional development. Not only does the community expect that from us, to have well trained law enforcement professionals, but also people looking to which agency they want to work for are looking for an agency that offers professional development opportunities and good training opportunities, and having that ongoing development. So that will definitely be a priority for me as sheriff, to make sure that we are competitive, and that also thinking outside the box to the things that we can offer to attract top quality candidates that want to work here for the Marion County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you for that information. Next, crime rate statistics seem to vary. By what parameters does Marion County determine these rates, and what are the numbers for Marion County?
So crime rates, that's a broad question. There's a lot of categories that are tracked. I don't think we have enough time to get into everything. I know that if people are interested in specific categories of crimes, that's available on the sheriff's office website. You can put in a specific address, and there's a mapping tool that you can look up specific areas, your neighborhood, and there's specific crime categories that you can select, and then date parameters to, if people are interested in more information about specific statistics.
That makes sense. Thank you for that information on where to find it. Drug decriminalization discussion continues, as does policy decisions. What outcomes do you see as it moves in either direction?
Well, I think, just starting, what are we now? September 24th. So September 1st, drugs were criminalized again. It's in the state of Oregon as a result of House Bill 4002. It's pretty early on to see, the effects of that. A lot of the I guess, suggestions from House Bill 4002 deflection programs. The LEAD program, we've already had that here in Marion County for the last 6, 7 years. So that's been available for people if they want treatment. I know there's efforts to expand that. Um, it'll be, I guess, yet to be seen how successful that will be. My concern with House Bill 4002 is for the people, who do not want to, engage in treatment, and what will be done to ensure that they are not just left to be on the streets, using drugs out in the open, that charges will be filed against them, and we'll have that accountability piece to hopefully encourage treatment if they're not willing to participate in lead in the front end before charges are filed.
I agree. That makes sense. Yeah, especially with a new change going on, it's going to take a
Yeah,
while before we see what happens with it, right?
yeah.
Okay. What are your concerns addressing jail management and the number of incarcerations?
So here in Marion County, one of the things, going back to staffing again, back in the 2022-23 budget cycle, the Marion County Commissioners approved the funding to open 55 additional beds at the Marion County Jail. And those beds were supposed to be open in June of 23, but due to staffing, they weren't open. And again, in this June of 2024, we're still not open. So my opponent decided instead to close the Marion County Transition Center, which was 144 beds, which is part of the jail, and then move the deputies from that worked at the transition center over to the jail to open G pod, which was the pod of the 55 beds that the commissioners approved the funding for. Um, you know, had we had the staffing, we could have had G pod open and the transition center still open. So I believe that it's important again to get our staffing and our vacancies filled and retain employees so we can have all of the available jail beds open. Our jail, I believe, was built sometime in the late 80s, early 90s, but that was almost 30 some years ago. But the population of Marion County has grown substantially since that time, and yet we have the same number of beds for the available. So I think it's important that that the sheriff can maintain the staffing necessary to have all of those available to help keep people who need to be off the street and behind in a jail bed off the street. So that's a high priority of mine.
Okay. So now I'm curious, especially since I live in Polk County, in what ways do Marion and Polk County sheriffs cooperate?
There's some investigations, some things that overlap, especially, uh, in the South County side, South Salem, when you go over the bridge into Independence, sometimes we have things that overlap. Generally, where an incident occurs determines which agency investigates it, but there's occasions where we have incidents that overlap and that we work together with Polk County.
Okay, that makes sense. I'd like to kind of bounce back to our original question on the unsheltered, and I was wondering, since I work a lot with the city of Salem, what do you see as a way we could better coordinate the Marion County Sheriff's Office with the city of Salem?
So I think the lead program that we have that's available to all law enforcement agencies in the county can call out a navigator. So whether it's somebody in the city of Salem or an officer in the city of Staten or Almsville, lead is available to them to help get those people in those communities into treatment and get those resources out there. Um, I think that. We have a pretty good working relationship with Salem police officers, and I think there's always room for improvement and things that we can do. I know Salem, it has a new mayor that's going to be taking office next year, and that always when you have new leadership, new ideas, that always brings new opportunities for better collaboration and ideas that we can work together to improve the way that we deliver services to the community.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Let me Lost my sheet of paper here. Okay, so now we are nearing the end of this. I wanted to say, let's see, here I am. Candidate Rejaian, you're now invited to share your 2-minute closing comments about your goals for this office, if elected, or other remarks you wish to share. Please also share your contact information so the public can reach out to you. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll start with my website so I don't forget if we keep running out of time. I'd invite you to go to my website and look for more information. It's stacyforsheriff.com, STACY. Like I said at the beginning, this is a historic election, that the first time in 26 years that the people of Marion County actually have a choice for who they want to be sheriff. I think that it is very important that the people are involved. And I just invite you to learn about both candidates. Go to my website, go to my opponent's website, look to see what we both have to say about the issues that you care about and what our plans are to do to address the issues that are important to you. And if you don't find information about that, reach out to me, reach out to my opponent, because I think it's important that voters be informed and, get information about the issues that are important. We have a lot of public safety issues that are facing our community, like I mentioned, drug trafficking, gang violence. We didn't really talk a lot about that. As sheriff, I think it would be important to have a dedicated team to address drug trafficking and gang violence, and also crime prevention. And again, to make sure that we have all of our deputy positions filled so we can provide adequate patrol services throughout the county, and also make sure that we have all of our available jail beds open. My goal is to be proactive and to actually do something to prevent crime in Marion County. So I would invite the voters and encourage everyone to be informed and find information, and have your voice be heard.
Well, thank you, candidate Rejaian, for participating in this interview today and for sharing your thoughts on these issues that are so important to folks in Marion and Polk counties. Really appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Well, I wanted to say thank you to Capital Community Media for their extensive technology and production skills used to create this program. And thank you to the League of Women Voters of Marion and Polk counties for the design and preparation of the program. And thanks to you, the public, for watching in order to become a more informed voter. For more local, state, and national voter information on candidates and ballot issues, visit vote411.org after September 30th, when candidate data is posted. You have until October 15th to register to vote or make changes to your voter registration. Ballots go out on October 16th and will be accepted and counted if postmarked before or on November 5th. Elections matter. Remember to vote, because your vote counts.